Councillor Corby.
Thank you, Chair. Somebody's got to start, so it might as well be me. Members, earlier this year, the County Council Network evaluation of the PricewaterhouseCoopers analysis relating to local government reorganisation showed that achieving economies of scale within local government will be determined by a number of factors. But it was clear that a minimum 500,000 population would be the single biggest driver in the creation of 29. If the recent government decision with regard to the Surrey LGR is anything to go by, particularly given that a 3 unitary proposal was deemed compliant with government criteria, but with the single exception that the 500,000 population criteria was not met, and therefore this led to the implementation of a 2 unitary proposal subject to government approval. The North City South proposal, which I have to say was a compelling and exceptionally detailed proposal, particularly in respect of financial appraisal, does not fulfil that criteria, and by that I mean the 500,000 people. The county proposal also does not meet that criteria. The county and city proposals, in my view, also lack financial depth, but have appraised more on the RAG system, the red, amber, green system, against risk and government criteria. For me, I prefer to see the numbers. Therefore, the NCS proposal very much more appealing in that sense. Risk is easier to assess alongside in-depth financial analysis. With regard to all of the proposals, I have concerns relating to stipulated government criteria relating to collaboration in respect of the leaders of the 3 unitary leaders, the 3 unitary councils. In January this year, a joint position was agreed by those leaders as follows. Number 1, unanimous agreement in principle on Mayoral Strategic Authority linked to local government reorganisation. Number 2, any local government reorganisation will need to address the boundaries of the city. Number 3, currently the city boundaries exclude built-up areas in adjacent districts that most people would recognise as the most contiguous urban area of Leicester, restricting growth potential and its long-term financial sustainability, or with the postponement of elections, which subsequently was refused anyway. That was a clear statement, in my view, following the release of the government paper. Therefore, it would be unreasonable to consider why this position has changed in respect of the city, given the proposals before us. And by that I mean, don't seem to be considering that the city needs as well. Indeed, within that city proposal, it was claimed that it took 10 years to implement a city strategic growth plan and a statement of common ground. This, for me, encapsulates the problem that the city faces and why expansion for growth is necessary. The best way of achieving this is through the surrounding co-joined urban areas as identified as city growth areas. On a local level, this is exactly what is happening to our rural areas through the expansion of Stamford. Rutland is now in the Stamford. The NCS proposal addresses the financial sustainability of the city. It also points out that Leicester is expected to grow the fastest at 31%. But correct me if I'm wrong, it does not appear to address the fundamental question how growth is to be accommodated without expansion. Perhaps the complexity of the problem is too great to properly address, given the ridiculous timeline. It has left the city in a difficult situation in trying to comply with the government criteria and their proposal to subsume 2 districts, while strictly in line with the criteria, in my view makes a mockery of the constraints being placed in respect of boundary changes. There simply has not been the time.
30 seconds, Councillor Corby.
I feel that it's considered that city enlargement is necessary to facilitate LGR and unlock devolution. Clearly, the NCS and county proposals will be deemed non-compliant, as required boundary changes in the preferred city proposal will directly impact the financial modelling and population criteria of both NCS and county proposals. Now to the South Link proposal, which till recently we all expected to be before us for consideration. There is no doubt that synergies exist, particularly along the A1 corridor. Indeed, our own economic analysis summary, recently commissioned by Rutland County Council, reinforces the potential for long-term growth and transformation being greater within South Links than that of the North Leicestershire and London. It is extremely disappointing for many Rutland residents, with just under 50% voicing a preference for South Links, particularly for an outpost private service at this standard.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Corby. Thank you. Your limits, quite significant.